Today we're going over Chapter 22 of the Silmarillion, of the Ruin of Doriath. If you're new here, welcome to Heart of a Halfling, where we talk about Lord of the Rings and do some Lord of the Rings stuff. So let's get started. So this chapter begins with a recap that Turin has passed away. Hurin is still held under captivity with Morgoth, and that Morgoth isn't done with his revenge on Hurin, and that he's been held for 28 years, and that now Morgoth is going to let Hurin go and allow him to leave Angband. So Hurin wants to go back to Gondolin. He thinks this is, that might be his best option now. So he goes to the cryptogram. He's shouting out to the eagles, asking them maybe they'll take him back to Gondolin like they've done before. And Thorondor sees Hurin while Hurin doesn't see him. He goes to Turgon and asks Turgon, hey, do you want us to bring Hurin to Gondolin? And Turgon goes, is Morgoth dead? Why would he let Hurin go? If Hurin's set free, he must be a spy for Morgoth, so no, don't let him come. And Thorondor's like, okay, and, he leaves. And it says that Turgon kind of has a little regret on this, that maybe he should have brought Hurin with him. But it really didn't matter, because when Thorondor goes back to see Hurin, Hurin's already left and he's already gone about his way. And Hurin goes towards a mountain near Gondolin and shouts out to Turgon, basically saying that, he's abandoned him. But really what this does now is it allows Morgoth to know the general region of where Gondolin is. And this is the first big betrayal that Hurin has done since his release from Angband. So now Hurin is still filled with hatred and revenge and being led a little bit by fate. And he goes to Nargothrond. And here at Nargothrond, he finds the dwarf Mim. So Mim, after his encounter with Turin and after Glaurung has destroyed Nargothrond and is now dead, Mim comes to Nargothrond and is now relishing in all the treasures. Hurin comes in, reveals who he is, reveals that he's Hurin, reveals that he's Turin's father, and that he knows that Mim has betrayed him. So Mim now is begging Hurin for his life. Hurin doesn't want to hear it. He kills Mim. And it says that here Hurin leaves Nargothrond and is said to only have one item. So Hurin now goes to Menegroth, goes to Thingol, and he throws down the one item, the Naglamir, the necklace of the dwarves, and he throws it down at the feet of Thingol and says, here's your fee for taking care of my son and my daughter and wife. Basically as sarcasm, saying that, great job protecting them, they're all dead now. And Melion tells Hurin, hey, take a minute. I know that you've seen and heard everything that's gone on, but you've seen and heard it through Morgoth, which means it's crooked, it's corrupted, it's not really what happened. We accepted Turin as our son. He was ours. We treated him as ours. And we brought in Morwen and Yenor as honored guests. So what you've known is not the full truth. And it says that Hurin looks into the eyes of Melion and realizes that this was all part of Morgoth's punishment. And realizing that the punishment is now over, there's nothing else that can be done, he picks up the Naglamir and gives it to Thingol, saying, this is a genuine gift for you. And then Hurin gets up and he just leaves. He leaves Menegroth, and it says that he goes to the Western Sea and throws himself in, and there ends the story of Hurin. So now Thingol has the Naglamir, and he still has the Silmaril, which has been having this very obsessive effect on him. He always wants to know where it is, always wants to look at it, always wants to be around it. Very similar obsessive traits that we'll see later with other characters and items. And he decides that how fantastic would it be if he could put the Silmaril into the Naglamir and then wear it. Like, what a beautiful piece of craftsmanship he could adorn. So he's still friends with the dwarves, and in fact there are dwarves residing in Menegroth at the time. So he goes to them, asks them to do this, to set the Silmaril into the Naglamir. And it says that the dwarves are a little confused as to why he has the Naglamir, but really they see the Silmaril and they begin to have the desire for the Silmaril, but that they're able to set it aside to do this craftsmanship. And as they're doing this, Thingol is just sitting there and anxiously waiting to have the necklace, to be able to wear this. And when they complete the necklace, Thingol wants to put it on, and the dwarves are like, no, this doesn't belong to you. This belongs to Finrod Felaghan, and he's not here anymore, so at best it belongs to us. And Thingol is like, do you not know who I am? I awoke at the shores of Cuavenin. I am Elo Thingol. You can't tell me I can't have this. I've been alive longer than the fathers of dwarves were even awoke. And the dwarves kind of go back and forth with Thingol, and there's this frustration, and Thingol's kind of belittling the dwarves, and so the dwarves all begin to band together and kill Thingol. So now the dwarves try to escape with the Naglamir. However, guards do go after them, kill most of them except for two. Two are able to get away, and the Naglamir and Silmaril are taken back to Melian. Now the two dwarves that escape, they go to Nagrad, tell them that Thingol has cheated them, has killed many of them, and they need to go and seek their revenge on Doriath. And they try to get dwarves from Belagost to join them, but the dwarves of Belagost are like, nope, don't want to have any part of that. This is silly. Don't do this. And they don't listen. The dwarves of Nagrad, they go to attack Doriath. So now Melian knows that Thingol has died. It says that a change comes upon her. She knows that the doom of Doriath is to come. And though she has taken on this form, like though she's a Maiar, she's taken on this form as a children of Iluvatar has, had a child. She bore Luthien. But now that Thingol is gone, her power is fading. And she tells Moblung to go to Beren and Luthien, tell them what has happened, and then she leaves for Valinor. She just disappears, and here ends the tale of Melian. So Moblung is supposed to go and tell Beren and Luthien what has happened. However, he never makes it that way because the dwarves of Nagrad attack Doriath and kill Moblung. Now, Beren and Luthien live in Tol Galen in Osirion. They have a son named Dior, who's married to Nimloth, who is a kinswoman of Celeborn, who's married to Lady Galadriel. Nimloth and Dior have 3 children, Elured, Eluin, and Elwing. 2 sons and a daughter. And Beren receives word that the dwarves have attacked Doriath. So Beren takes his son Dior, gathers a group of elves of Osirion, and they all gather together to go and ambush the dwarves as they leave Doriath. So the dwarves begin to leave Doriath. There's fewer of them, but they hold all these treasures of Doriath. And they get to San Othrad, and they're in the woods, and it says that the woods fill with the sounds of these elvish horns, and arrows just start flying through, and the dwarves are attacked, and many of them die. Some try to escape east towards the mountains, but there they encounter the shepherds of the trees, and then are driven towards Ered Lindon, towards a path that they're not able to climb. So during this battle of San Othrad, Beren is fighting the Lord of Nagrad, who holds the Naglamir, and he's able to wrestle the Naglamir away from him, and the Lord of Nagrad is beginning to die, and in his dying breaths, he curses all the treasure. And so he passes away, and now Beren is holding the Silmaril once again, and he's remembering all that had happened for him to retrieve the Silmaril. And it says he puts it in the water and he washes the blood off of it. And when everything is said and done, all the treasure of Doriath has been thrown into the river Oscar, so that the river Oscar is now called Rath Loriel, or the Golden Bed. So Beren takes the Naglamir to Luthien, who doesn't find a whole lot of comfort in the fact that the Lord of Nagarath and many other dwarves have died. But it says she has the Naglamir, and that when she wears it, that this is the most beautiful thing outside of Valinor, and that Tol Galen becomes just as fruitful and prosperous as Valinor. Now Dior decides to travel to Menegroth, and he takes, his wife and children, and here he's going to be the next heir. He's going to now rule the Sindar. So some time goes by, and he receives a box from the elves of Osirion that contains the Naglamir. And here he realizes that his parents, Beren and Luthien, have passed away. And it's rumored that the Silmaril quickened their death, that the beauty that Luthien had while wearing the Silmaril was too much for mortal men. And so they passed away. So now Dior has the Silmaril. And this gets back to the sons of Feanor, who were too afraid to go after Beren and Luthien to get the Silmaril, but now they're like, no, we're gonna go retrieve it. So they go to attack Doriath, and here we have Dior, who kills Celegorm, Curdefin, and Kerenthir, but Dior and Nimloth also perish, and the servants of Celegorm take Elured and Elurin to the forest to die. They leave them out there to just starve. Now this bothers Maedhros, and Maedhros tries to go and find the two sons, but is unable to. So this is the ruin of Doriath, and only a few of the Sindar leave, including Elwing, the daughter of Dior, and they have the Silmaril. So there you go. This was this chapter. We kind of got through it pretty quickly. A lot of characters die in this one, which in reading this, it kind of felt like Tolkien was like, okay, I'm done telling stories with these characters. Let's cast them all off and get a new cast in. And yeah, I teared up in reading about Morwen and Hurin. It was just so sad. And in fact, where Hurin buried Morwen becomes Tol Morwen. And yeah, it was just sad. And it's sad that he didn't get to be buried with his family. And it's just, I teared up in that scene. And with Melion, okay, I have conflicting opinions on this. So on the one hand, Melion deeply loved Thingol. She was only here for Thingol, and she became very tied and grounded in the land of Doriath and in Thingol, so that when he dies, it kind of seems like, not entirely, but a little bit metaphorically, died of a broken heart. Like there's a change on her. She feels her power fading on the land, and she essentially dies and goes to Valinor. Not really, but sort of. And so on the one hand, it's like, oh, she had a broken heart. Her, the man she loved has passed away. And so I can understand that. But on the other hand, it's like, you are a Maiar. Let's suck it up, Buttercup. If you know the ruin of Doriath is to come, why not hang around to help a little bit? But she decides not to. And she's just like, okay, I was only here for Thingol, so bye. So I was a little disappointed. I was understanding, but a little disappointed, because it's like, I thought you were a better Ainur than the rest. I thought you were going to stick around and do something. But she didn't. Maybe I shouldn't be so judgmental, because she did have a girdle around Doriath for a very long time that protected them. So she was doing a little bit more than the others, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, this was this chapter. The Sons of Feanor need to take a chill pill. Those were kids, and if they were able to die in the forest, I'm assuming they're pretty young. So, geez, and to know that this isn't the only time that this happens, and yeah, they need to take a chill pill, in my opinion. But whatever. Anyways, that was this chapter. It was a quick chapter. A lot happened. A lot of changes. A new era is to come in the Silmaril, in the in Middle Earth. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter. I hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed week, and may your homes be filled with food and cheer.